Just a few years earlier, Warren Moon had been the face of the University of Washington Huskies, a quarterback who defied gravity with every throw. He had led his team to a Rose Bowl victory over powerhouse Michigan, dismantling one of the toughest defenses in college football and earning the game's MVP honors. Scouts saw it, fans saw it. Everyone knew the kid from Los Angeles had the arm, the mind, and the poise to thrive at the next level. Everyone except the NFL. When draft day came, he waited by the phone. His family and friends gathered with hope and pride. But call after call went to other names. Round after round passed. The phone stayed silent. And as the final pick was made, Warren understood the cruel truth. His skin color, not his skill, had decided his fate. It was a gut punch wrapped in politeness. Scouts had praised him publicly, but whispered the same coded nonsense behind closed doors. He's athletic, but can he lead? Smart kid, but not a natural passer. Maybe safety. Maybe receiver. They weren't evaluating talent, they were enforcing tradition. In the late 1970s, the NFL was still uncomfortable with the idea of a black man leading a huddle, reading defenses, and commanding the field. For decades, the league had built invisible fences around the quarterback position, and Warren Moon, despite every ounce of proof that he belonged, was locked out. So he did something unthinkable. He packed his bags, swallowed his pride, and crossed the border to Canada, a football exile searching for freedom. The Edmonton Eskimos offered him not pity, but a chance. No one asked him to switch positions. No one questioned his intelligence. No one saw color before talent. The CFL wasn't glamorous, and its fields were frozen tundras compared to the manicured stadiums down south. But for Moon, it was a sanctuary, a place where he could simply play the game he loved, and play he did. In Edmonton, Warren Moon didn't just adapt. He dominated. His throws sliced through icy winds like guided missiles. His understanding of the game elevated the Eskimos into an unstoppable machine. Under his command, Edmonton became a dynasty, winning 5 consecutive Grey Cups, a record that still feels almost impossible. He turned a foreign league into his playground, transforming the CFL into the stage that the NFL had denied him. Fans adored him, teammates trusted him, and opponents feared him. He was no longer the black quarterback. He was simply the best quarterback. Yet even in victory, there was an ache that never left him. Every touchdown, every record, every trophy whispered the same question in the back of his mind. Why did I have to leave my own country to play my position? He didn't say it out loud, but the answer was written in every spiral that left his hand. An unspoken rebellion, a declaration that talent has no color. By 1984, Warren Moon had outgrown Canada. His legend had crossed the border before he did. The NFL, the same league that once turned its back on him, suddenly wanted him back. The Houston Oilers came calling with an offer that stunned the sports world, a $5.5 million contract over 5 years, the largest in NFL history at that time. For a man the league once ignored, that number wasn't just money. It was justice. It was proof that the truth he had known all along could no longer be denied. But his return to America wasn't a homecoming. It was a trial. Reporters didn't celebrate his arrival. They dissected it. They called him the CFL experiment, questioned whether he could handle the real game, and asked if his success north of the border even counted. The bias had evolved. It wore a suit and carried a microphone now, but it was still the same disease. Warren didn't argue. He didn't lash out. He just went to work. At first, the results were rough. The Oilers were rebuilding, the playbook unfamiliar, and the pressure immense. Every interception made headlines. Every win was doubted. But slowly, methodically, Warren Moon turned skepticism into silence. His arm began doing what it always had, shredding defenses. He studied film like a scientist, adjusted his reads, and found a rhythm that few quarterbacks in history have ever matched. The same precision that had conquered Canada began rewriting the NFL's playbook. Then came the revolution. The Oilers built their offense around a system called the run and shoot. To traditionalists, it looked chaotic. 4 receivers, constant motion, and an endless barrage of passing. But to Warren Moon, it was liberation. Finally, an offense that matched his imagination. He didn't just run plays, he conducted them. Defenses collapsed under his rhythm, unable to keep up with the quick strikes and deep bombs. In an era when 3,000 yards passing was elite, Warren threw for 4,000, then 5,000. He became the face of a new generation of quarterbacks, fearless, cerebral, and uncontainable. In 1990, he led the entire NFL with 4,689 passing yards, a staggering number that shattered expectations. He made 6 straight Pro Bowls, turned Houston into a playoff contender, and inspired a wave of young black quarterbacks who finally saw themselves reflected in the game's most important position. Yet despite everything he achieved, the double standards never fully disappeared. When white quarterbacks showed swagger, they were praised as confident leaders. When Warren did the same, critics called him arrogant. When others struggled, they were human. When he did, he was a headline. He was no longer fighting for a roster spot. He was fighting for fairness. The burden of being the first is that you don't get to fail quietly. Every throw became a referendum on every black quarterback who would come after him. Every mistake became ammunition for the doubters waiting in the wings. The pressure was relentless, but Warren bore it with the same composure that had carried him since Washington. Cool Hand Moon, the man who never flinched. He didn't just play football. He carried the weight of history on his shoulder pads. By the time his career came to an end, Warren Moon's numbers looked almost mythic. Over 49,000 passing yards in the NFL, 9 Pro Bowls, an Offensive Player of the Year award. Combine that with his CFL years, and the total skyrockets to more than 70,000 yards, a figure that transcends eras, leagues, and borders. He became the first black quarterback inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and the only man ever enshrined in both the Canadian and American halls. His legacy was finally undeniable, even to those who once denied his existence. But Warren Moon's story isn't just a triumph, it's a mirror. His career forced football to confront its own reflection. Before him, black quarterbacks weren't seen as leaders. After him, that myth couldn't survive. He didn't just prove he could play, he proved the entire system wrong. Every time Doug Williams lifted a Lombardi trophy, every time Randall Cunningham redefined creativity, every time Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes lit up defenses, it was Warren Moon's shadow they stood in, his trail they followed. Yet beneath all the applause and all the stats, his story still carries a question that America hasn't fully answered. Why did he have to leave to be believed? Why did he have to cross a border, rewrite record books, and embarrass an entire industry before being accepted as what he always was, a great quarterback? His journey wasn't just about football. It was about breaking a barrier the league pretended didn't exist. If you found inspiration in this story, take a moment to reflect on what it means to fight for a dream that was never meant for you, and win anyway. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel for more untold stories from football's forgotten corners. Because every Sunday legend we celebrate today was once a story the world refused to believe.